Welcome to Flashstocks. I'm Enzo Orlando.
And I'm Nicholas Sofraneri.
Our job is to provide financial advice tailored to your specific profile.
We are not in the business of losing money. We want to help you grow your investments and make money off of sound decisions with backed up sources and data.
And with that, Nick, the market was doing well this whole week up until Friday, where everything started to dip down, maybe because of Trump's announcement. That could have played a big role in that. We'll get into that later. But hey, tell us how the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and Dow Jones performed.
Well, with that, let's get into it. So the S&P 500 was down 1.12%. The NASDAQ was down 1.07%, and the Dow Jones was down 0.88%. And this is because U.S. stock index has closed lower Friday, notching a third straight weekly loss amid uncertainty about a fresh round of fiscal stimulus from Washington. Concerns about tensions between the U.S. and China are heating up, and worries about the sluggish pace of economic recovery is also what's impacting the stock market as well.
All right, Nick, and with that, let's tell everyone, what is our stock of the week?
So we decided to pick Oracle as our stock of the week. And to give some background information, Oracle is an American multinational computer technology corporation headquartered in California. And I know that sounds long, but the company sells database software and technology, cloud engineering systems, and enterprise software products, particularly its own brand of database management systems.
Last close just short of $60. Oracle is about to become the part owner of TikTok. TikTok has over 100 million users and is currently owned by ByteDance, a Chinese-based company. But U.S. officials claim TikTok is a threat to national security, as Donald Trump has threatened to ban the platform if an American company does not buy it by September 15th. And Oracle did go ahead of that, but Microsoft did propose to buy TikTok. They were one of the front runners, but it was rejected by the company ByteDance. But now Oracle has appeared as emerged victorious and now will become partners with ByteDance. Then yesterday, President Trump announced that TikTok will be banned in the United States starting on Monday, September 21st. What does this mean for Oracle, who did purchase the company before the deadline? We'll have to wait and see how the market plays out. And with that, Nick, we are getting into buy and sell. And Nick, let me hear your buy of the week.
All right, for my buy, I've got Qualcomm, which last closed at $110. So to give some background information on them, Qualcomm is an American multinational corporation headquartered also in California, like Oracle. They're also incorporated in Delaware. So they create intellectual property, semiconductors, software, and services related to wireless technology. This company also makes the microchips for Apple's iPhones. And to give some balance sheet information, while total assets and total capitalization have gone down over these past few years, they have recently made some big moves with this 5G broadband internet. This is the same company that brought us 3G and 4G data, but now the company is making some big strides with 5G.
All right, here is my buy of the week, and I'm going to have to go with Penn National Gaming. And ever since Penn teamed up with Barstool Sports, one of the most well-known internet sports sites, their stock has been going up. And now with the launch of a new app from Penn and Barstool called the Barstool Sportsbook, it has now become the #1 sports app in the App Store. The NFL season reigns have been doing great, and now with the return of the Big Ten football next month, Penn is going to be a top gambling app to invest in. They did close down $70.60 a share, but looks to be going up in this upcoming week.
All right, I'm going to go along a similar avenue of gambling. I'm going to go with DraftKings. So while this stock has performed well in recent weeks/months, the stock has already hit its peak. After Michael Jordan became a part owner, the company's stock price skyrocketed. However, in the near future, the company's market share of internet gambling I feel like it will level off because there are so many different types of online gambling resources to choose from. And it just seems like the market with internet gambling is a little too saturated.
All right, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that, Nick, because I still think DraftKings will do just as well as other gambling companies such as Penn or FanDuel. I think gambling as a whole, with football season coming back and all that, I think they're going to be one of the well-performing stocks in this upcoming fall. They'll all be doing good. DraftKings has Michael Jordan who is known as the greatest basketball of all time, but hey, he's done great business moves too.
He's good at playing basketball. He's not good at running a business.
I mean, hey, you could say that. I mean, hey, he's one of the with Nike's what he's got with Nike, he's one of the top sellers still just because of Air Jordan. So that's why I think DraftKings will still do well. They got Jordan in it. Football season's back, so everyone wants to go back and gamble. So I'm gonna have to disagree with that. And here's the thing: I don't have a sell this week. It's all buy for me.
A little too bullish. All right. So the next topic we're going to get into is going to be our long-term buy. So for my long-term buy, I chose Tesla, which is an obvious one out. This last closed at $449, up 18% over the past week. This is an obvious buy, like I've said. I've said it in the past. I'll say it again. Traditional car companies are pretty much now in the business of losing money. Gasoline is no longer the main source of fuel, and the vehicle market is moving way towards electric battery power. And looking at their Tesla's balance sheet, they may seem like they are behind Ford in a lot of categories, but if you look at operating income, which judges the total money that the company is bringing in, Ford's is negative $5 million. Meanwhile, Tesla's is a crisp positive $1.2 million. It just doesn't scream buy. I don't know what does. I'd say this is long term because while their demand for cars is insanely high, they just aren't producing them fast enough. So, but in the near future, I feel like Elon Musk and his team will eventually find a way to produce these cars efficiently.
All right, Nick, I'm staying in the same category as you, and I'm going to go with Nikola as my long-term buy. Last closed at $34 a share. A competitor of Tesla, Nikola has been one of those stocks where if you invest into it when it was at a low price, you would bank out big. This was a stock that I got back into in June and has done well on my profile. Just like how in the 1920s it was Ford and GM, now 100 years later it is Nikola and Tesla.
You know, Enzo, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. While Nikola has some upside, they have yet to roll out their first car. They haven't brought any money in yet. They've still got a long ways to go. But you are right. They are the future of transportation.
All right, with that, Nick, let's get into our short-term buys for the week.
All right, so my short-term buy, you've all heard of Zoom. This company last closed at $439, up 12% from last week. And if you haven't noticed, Zoom is on top of the world right now. Their total assets increased dramatically over these past few months since COVID-19 hit, basically making all work remote. And while it may seem like their share price has leveled off, Zoom is used in schools and businesses, and now there's even a thing such as Zoom parties. So I think this stock will continue to rise because the demand for remote learning is going to increase as well.
All right, my short-term buy of the week, I'm going to have to go with Dropbox, and it is known as a digital storage app that has been the top stay-at-home work app during this pandemic. Closed down at 19.25 cents a share, but in their last quarter, they have a 10% user growth and a 16% overall revenue growth, which goes to say that this will be a great short-term buy for the week. And with that, Nick, I want you to get into what was our best performing industries of this past week.
All right, well, the best performing industries were actually what we were talking about earlier, electric transportation. So Nikola and Tesla, clearly the future of transportation. You can argue whether Nikola Motors, even though they haven't produced a car yet, you could still argue that, in the next year or two, once they do start producing these batteries and implementing them in vehicles, that it will be a buy. But I think gasoline fossil fuels will surely die out in the next 100 years or so with the entry of electric vehicles. There's just no need to fill your car up with gas when you can just plug it in for free.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that, Nick. With Nikola and Tesla, they are pretty much the future. I mean, it feels like with Tesla, they're more focused on just the average consumer, just getting a car and go. And it feels like what Nikola wants to do, they're getting into more like pickup trucks or mostly semi trucks too. I know Tesla has with Elon Musk, who's trying to get into like automatic driving semi trucks, but we haven't seen the release of that yet. And what you said about Nikola, they haven't really released anything. They just only had prototypes out. So with that, I do think the electric transportation, they're going to be huge going in the next 5, 10, 20 years. They're going to be one of the top industries. And with that, we're going to give you some Flash Finance advice, which Flash Finances, of course, is to help you, college students, help you save money in your pocket. And I read an article today from CNBC that said, ever since this pandemic happened, more than 13 million college students are worried about their financial future. From that, this was the reason why I started Flashstocks, to help you, college students, have a successful financial future. The majority of people's regrets in life is usually from a bad financial decision, such as buying things they can't afford, such as a car, house, clothing, jewelry, or things they don't need at all. And this also has to go with investing too. People don't invest. They don't invest in the stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, or real estate. And that's what happens. And here's the thing. I want my fellow Kent State students to live in a life where they do not have to worry about their money in the future. I get it. There's college debt. There's college loans. You got financial aid and all that. You got to pay that. I get it. They need that money to operate our school. But here's the thing. We want you to be focusing on investing in yourself for your financial future.
Yeah, agreed.
And that will include this week's episode of Flashstocks. For Enzo Orlando and Nick Zaffarini, we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week, everyone.